Drake is
we're here
pop.
for truth. We're here for
Drake
truth.
Drake is pop to me.
I think Drake is the coolest culture vulture we've ever seen.
DIY.
DIYers, over the last week, there was a video that went pretty damn viral from Yasiin Bey, better known as Mos Def. Yasiin Bey is a legend within hip hop. In the midst of an interview that he had on the Cutting Room Floor podcast, Yasiin Bey was asked a specific question that sounded like he didn't want to answer. The question was related to if he identifies Drake as being a hip hop artist. For some people, it's a no-brainer, but for some other people, it's a dicey question. I'm going to let him explain it.
Like, is Drake hip hop? I know.
Drake is
Because we're here
pop.
for truth. We're here for
Drake
truth.
Drake is pop to me.
Right, that's fair. In the sense that it's charting like pop music, popular music.
He's being very careful with his words. I think we need to acknowledge that first. I respect that. I respect the man that thinks about a question before they just go in, because it's really easy to aim at the top guy, right? The guy who's killing it. It's really easy to go there and look bitter, but he's really giving us thought. That's important. We'll talk about that in a second.
In the sense, like, if I was in Target in Houston and I heard a Drake song, so it feels like a lot of his music is compatible with shopping.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
He thought long and hard about a response to the question of whether or not Drake is hip hop. And the first thing that he came back with was an example saying that his music would be best suited like in a Target, right? Safe, commercial music. And he'll even explain a little bit more about how it still has a very broad appeal, or I should say a very niche appeal within hip hop, because it has a little edge to it. It's just a beginning.
Commercial music.
Or it's
Commercial music, yeah.
shopping with an edge in certain instances. Or,
Fair. I like Drake's music, but I understand exactly what you're saying.
of course, I mean,
It's
I get
commercial, entertaining, fun,
It's-
good,
it's-
formulaic music that
it.
is
It's likable.
likable music. Yeah.
Can we stop there for a second? I promise. I hope somebody don't ever listen to my music and say, it's great Target music. It's likable with an edge. That's not the aim. I would even make the argument that hip hop in its foundation wasn't created to be likable. It wasn't created for something that the masses would consume, because at the time that hip hop was in its very early stages, from the research, because I was a baby back then, but from my research, the mainstream was very much against it. They thought this entire genre, this entire musical genre, this entire culture in itself was just a fad that the kids were into because the kids got to be rebellious about something. And with that said, the music that got created from the music that had a great awareness of the environment that the listeners and the artists were in, from even the party music, it was made for a very niche audience. This wasn't made for every single type of party. It was made for the culture that consumed it.
It's likable.
But is it? I'm gonna leave you alone. We're gonna move on.
I could tell he want to say more, but he probably felt like, yeah, this is already going to go viral by itself. I probably already said enough. On another day, maybe he may disclose more, but I could tell. I don't know if y'all could. He wanted to say a whole lot more than what he said. Likeable is a very nice way of saying something.
Woo! So many products. So
many SKUs.
So many SKUs.
So many
Look at all these SKUs. Oh, so many products.
So much merchandising. So
Oh,
many
I love this-
barcodes.
I love this mall. Look at this place. I mean, look at this place. They have everything.
Let's break it down. He continues the comparison of Drake's music to being a customer experience. Drake has created this mall-like experience. Two things. One, he is phenomenal at morphing into different types of cultures and adding a bit of his own stamp on it, or adding a bit of his own touch creatively on it. He makes fantastic music. It's not always for me. I don't think I'm the demographic, but he makes fantastic music. Secondly, I think he's the most coolest looking culture vulture we've ever seen.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
I think Drake is the coolest culture vulture we've ever seen. He looks like the culture. He sounds like the culture. Hell, he sounded Jamaican at one time. He sounds like whoever he raps with. He rap with Migos, he gonna sound like Migos. He rap with the rappers, all of a sudden them bars start coming out. Or I should say Fonte start coming out.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
I haven't told my wife I wanna rap again. After a 9-year hiatus making content. I don't know what she gon' say, but when I drop this, honestly I wouldn't blame her if she jumped ship. Over the last few years I took some dumb risk. Almost crumbled my business and made my gut wrench. But I'm an entrepreneur, and when that hunch hits, in the name of elevation I get sucked in. I know I got a son, but is it ill-advised for me to revisit these dreams I had at 29? Would I be selfish if I brought this up at dinner time? My wife looked dead into my eyes and say, you feeling fine? I haven't told my wife I wanna rap again.
Everything's here. They have everything here. Ah, this is great. This is a new Drake. You hear it? It's great. Okay. What happens when this thing collapses? This is the thing that we're talking about. It's like nobody wants to talk about. It's like what happens when the columns start buckling? Are we not in some early stage of that at this present hour? Are we seeing like the collapse of the empire? Buying and selling. Where's the message that I can use?
Right.
You know.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
As I thought about this comment that he made, I think there's a few different thoughts that I have. I think the first one that I really think he zoomed out on is it's bigger than Drake. But this idea of sort of the commercialism of hip hop, it's been going on far before Drake was even in the picture, right? Is it possible that consumers are already, who are the foundation, who are the pillars of what holds up whatever's going on, right, that's supported financially, could they be part of the buckling of that said system? Could it be at a point where people are asking for more than just the greatest version of commercialization of music? At least hip hop, I should say, because that's not initially where hip hop started.
What's in it for your audience apart from being like banging the pom-poms?
It's a great question to end off with. What value is it giving? And you can say the same thing about any product. What value is it currently giving you to listen to someone who doesn't have a desire, in my opinion, to evolve with the times in terms of his own time? He finds a way to figure out what's hot. He has a great pulse on what's next. He has a great pulse on what people are consuming and what's niche and what can blow up and be the next level. But in terms of his own evolution, the subject matter of now versus the subject matter of the earliest Drake hasn't differed that much. And I think there's a few different reasons for that. But instead of me going into it, I would love to let Glasses Malone break this down. And I want to let him take it from here because he said some really, really interesting things about this very topic of is Drake considered hip hop?
He doesn't carry the burden of culture. He's not expected to represent. That's what makes hit. That's the cornerstone of hip hop. Even for people who not criminal, you got to represent. Everybody got. Oh, you from where we from? You for Eminem got to represent. And this is my point. Punk rock, hip hop, same. They stepbrothers. Same exact father. Poverty, oppression, all the things that create that culture that we use. All of it. Different mothers, different places on the earth. Punk rock been hip hop stepbrother the whole time. Same father, different mothers. So Eminem is from the same type of poverty, same type of thing. I don't know if Eminem ever stole a stick of gum in his life. Yeah. But that don't change that. That's where that attitude and that anger come from that fuse hip hop or the creativity that we use to make it work. I've said this multiple times. It's not a diss towards Drake. Drake is fantastic.
No, I get it.
So is Madonna.
Yeah, Madonna
They do
is
the exact same thing. They can take any style of music, colonize it, and make it a pop song.
What a hell of a way to end that clip.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Colonize it is a very strong word. It's a very strong word. I'm convinced that no matter what I say at the end of this video, I'll be known as a Drake hater. And like I'll reiterate, I think he makes some phenomenal music. But I also think, and I stand by the statement of this dude to me, I don't have to know him to look and see the avatar, especially seeing how at this stage of his career, how successful he is, but still how insecure he seems to be reacting to situations like this. The commentary that he had in response to Mos Def, Yasiin Bey, the legend, was that, let me see if I can find that.
So Drake fires back at Yasiin Bey's criticism with Method Man's help. Hey, what's up? I'm A-Dub, and check this out. So Yasiin Bey criticized Drizzy in a recent interview by labeling him a pop artist, but Drake has now responded. Taking to his Instagram stories on Monday, January 15th, Drake posted an old interview clip of Method Man while writing, "What Umi say again? Let me shine my light, king, don't change up now," referencing Bey's classic song, Umi Says. The video in question finds the Wu-Tang Clan legend explaining what hip-hop is to him.
Hip-hop is a culture. It's a way of life, the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you walk. It's the breakdancing, the rhymes, stage shows, the DJ, the mixing, the scratching, the wordplay. That's hip-hop.
I like the fact that he used Method Man to describe that, but then I bring Exhibit C. You know this guy that pops off about his ops and the things he'll do to you? Not to say he's not surrounded by some shooters. You know, you get that kind of money, you kind of have to be. You see him ushered in and out with his extra security. But it's hard for me to believe that the person that's able to morph into all these different cultures is the same motherfucker here that is talking to his mother, or, excuse me, who was peed off with his mother about not bringing a tuna sandwich to him years and years ago when he was an actor on Degrassi.
Where's my sandwich? I'm so hungry.
I didn't buy you that sandwich.
Why?
Because I bought chicken salad. I'll make you a sandwich. I bought some other things.
Why couldn't you just got me that sandwich?
Because the lineup was incredible.
This your shooter?
What's this?
It's a grape sandwich.
I'm so hungry.
Well, give me a chance. Here, well, maybe you can help me then.
He has studied the culture, and he has created an avatar that a lot of people believe in. When you look at the comments, it's already kind of hilarious as well. Let's zone in here. Let's just zone in here. The first comment is, living at my mama's house, we'd argue every month. They quoted his own lyrics. I grew up hard. Reality is he has an emotional breakdown over not getting a tuna sandwich. Oh yeah, because I definitely pulled a joke about it. You know, I don't think it's anybody's role to judge someone else's struggle. We all struggle with things very much differently. But when it comes to this here culture, one thing that has been a general understanding, at least it seems up until present time, is that if you don't live the things that you're rapping about, you're an actor. If you represent a culture and you echo some of its most toxic and some of its most vile perspectives on your head top, that's not actually authentic to who you are, or a way to approach being an example for those who consume your music. I don't think that we should have the rappers to be the examples of the fine men and women that we should be. But one cannot ignore the influence that they have over the young minds that are out and about. For those who get an opportunity in this generation to redefine what hip-hop is, I think it's always important for the elder statesmen to have a position to question the direction of where things are going, because they have experience. Yasiin Bey has experience that many of us, he has forgotten more things than many of us know about this here culture firsthand, especially as one of the original rappers / actors. Right? Started acting after his rapping. But it's interesting how the only response a lot of these people are getting, D1's another one, who are criticizing them, regardless of whom it's coming from, the criticisms are very, very valid. It's interesting that these people are not secure enough in their position to say, I wonder why the OG feels that way. I wonder if that's a statement that I should even make. I think it's interesting how someone like a Drake can stay in power in terms of his influence in the hip hop culture for it's got to be at least 10 plus years by now. And he can do that without jumping into any major hot topics dealing with society, black culture, and all the things that he seems to siphon energy from, but not comment on things when things get too heavy. And once again, not saying that that's his position, but I do think it's very interesting when you see someone benefit off of a culture and they have nothing to say about it, but they do have something to profit off of it. I think it's interesting. I salute Yasiin Bey. I don't think that any OG who ever has an opinion that differs from yours as a fan of that said artist should ever be neglected and thrown into the trash and immediately be categorized underneath the title of being a hater. I don't hear hate in Yasiin Bey's voice. I hear criticism. I hear concern of the direction of a culture that seems to be so obsessed with commercialism that they'll do it until the wheels fall off as an industry. Those are some of my thoughts. DIYers, let me know what you think. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Don't be greedy. Peace.